As you can see, I just took a drink of water because we're going to need to sit down for this situation. This is going to be kind of big. Mr. Beast, after not speaking about the Ava Chris Tyson situation since it started in July of this year, has finally released the results from his personal investigation about Ava Chris Tyson's behavior. It wasn't his investigation. I should mention that. This was done by some private investigators that he has hired, and he has finally dropped their conclusion. This was conducted over, as you can see, I have the Twitter post that he dropped right here. All right. A 3-month investigation into the allegations regarding my company, his company, has concluded. The law firm investigators reviewed millions of documents, messages, and conducted 39 interviews. He was asked to refrain from making public statements to enable a detailed and unbiased investigation. Below are the conclusions. We are going to go through these conclusions together to officially. I'm sorry, I just noticed this iFunny response. That's iFunny. iFunny. Okay, honestly, Jimmy, I'm going to completely real with you. If iFunny, the dead meme website, is commenting, is replying to your post, and it has nothing to do about the post, it has to do with your freaking brand that you did with two of the most controversial people on the internet. You know you shouldn't have made that brand, brother. Like, you made your first mistake was making lunch. Your first mistake was being friends with Ava Chris Tyson. Your second mistake was making lunchly. Anyways, we're going to read through this email, this detailed email. He posted this yesterday, as of recording this, as of releasing this. Hopefully, as long as everything goes smoothly with my internet. But yeah, we will read through this email now. This was via email. Dear Board of Directors, as you know, in July 2024, MrBeast LLC, quote, the company, end quote, engaged Quinn Emanuel, I'm going to butcher this name, Urquhart and Sullivan LLP to conduct, now I'm assuming that is the private investigator firm, to conduct an internal investigation into specific allegations made publicly, incidents reported internally, and issues raised by employees in interviews, including with respect to current and or former company personnel and the company's workplace environment and culture. At your direction, Quinn Emanuel immediately launched a comprehensive investigation which is now concluded. The following sets forth certain key findings and conclusions from the investigations without waiving any applicable privileges, including but not limited to the attorney-client privilege and work product protection. As an initial matter, to protect the investigation's integrity on July 31st, 2024, Quinn Emanuel requested that former employee Dawson French cease making public allegations against the company, as those were the topic of an ongoing investigation. We also requested that current employees refrain from public comments to ensure the investigation yielded accurate information and the witnesses were not tainted. The intent was to foster candid interviews and complete cooperation with the investigatory process. Quinn Emanuel conducted 39 interviews of current and former employees, over 4.5 million documents collected from mobile phones, emails, telegrams, Discord, WhatsApps, and Slack. What the hell is Slack? Were processed and reviewed. The collaboration and cooperation sought at the outset were achieved throughout this process. Quinn Emanuel thoroughly investigated all public allegations and any others that arose in the investigation. So this is just the first page. There are 2 pages. Okay. We just read the first page there. And with this first page, I noticed two important things. One, they are repeating a lot of information. And I just find that a little bit interesting. Because this is not a situation where you want to beat around the bush. You want to get strict to the point. I understand they need to look professional, but they just keep on saying we did all this research, we did all these interviews. These were 39 interviews with yada yada yada, with this and that, saying at your direction as you asked us to do this. Quinn Emanuel did this. I'm assuming Quinn Emanuel is the specific investigator that MrBeast hired to do this. But like, I find it interesting. Like, they just keep on repeating Quinn Emanuel, Quinn Emanuel. They're using his full name, his full legal name, instead of just saying Mr. Emanuel. Or up here, Quinn Emanuel Urquhart. Urquhart. I'm probably mispronouncing that name. Like, why don't you just say Mr. Urquhart or Mr. Emanuel? Like, or maybe it's Mrs. Emanuel, Mrs. Urquhart, or mix. I don't know. But whatever they are, just use their proper title, and just use their last name. It looks much simpler, looks much more official. If you're trying to make this official, you are failing because you're repeating information, you're repeating the name. I'm where I'm not looking professional at the moment. I'm a 15-year-old in my room recording this wearing a wife beater and a beanie. I just found this and I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to record it. But I'm not the one who needs to look professional here, okay? I think of myself as looking like Penguin Zero at the moment. He never needs to look professional. He just needs to report on the information that's going on. Like, from the person writing this email's perspective, you need to look professional. This is a serious thing that you need to look professional for. So, come on, man. Let's keep reading. And if you're getting bored, skip to timestamp that's somewhere on screen, because I'm going to go over them. Okay. The investigations produced the following significant findings. Allegations of sexual misconduct, example, pedophilia, grooming, child pornography, etc., between company employees and minors are without basis. The allegations were soundly rejected, including by alleged victims. Allegations of the company knowingly employing individuals with proclivities. I'm sorry, I'm too tired to understand what that word is. Proclivities or histories towards illegal or questionable legal conduct are similarly without basis. Here too, the allegations were uniformly rejected. Several isolated incidences of workplace harassment and misconduct were identified during the investigation. The company was informed of such conduct and took swift and appropriate actions to address the incidents, including, where necessary, disciplining or letting go of implicated individuals. As you were well aware, the company has grown exceedingly quickly. Has grown exceedingly quickly from a YouTube startup comprised of a group of talented young individuals to make a larger entity. It is not uncommon that the policies and practices essential in a mature company would lag behind commercial success. This appears to have been the case here and has, in certain instances, allowed for an inappropriate conduct. It is clear that the company is committed to remedying historical issues and creating a mature culture where problematic behaviors are not tolerated. As it enters in this new phase, the company has already implemented or is in the process of implementing changes to ensure a safe and professional corporate culture today and moving forward. These include sending a clear message regarding tone at the top, hiring a new chief executive officer, chief people officer, and general counsel as soon as to be hired, chief financial officer, implementing a mandatory corporate training for all employees, developing new policies codified in an employee handbook, establishing an anonymous reporting mechanism hotline for employees, and swiftly terminating individuals who violated company policy, regardless of their position or level within the company, identifying additional employees for targeted training and executive coaching to address professionalism and compliance with the company policy. This officially concludes our investigation. We remain available if you need any follow-ups or have further questions. Very yours truly, Alex Spiro. So, that is a lot to unpackage. First of all, allegations of sexual misconduct, example, pedophilia, grooming, and child pornography, etc., between company employees and minors are without basis. This is obviously in reference to Ava Chris Tyson and her history with her history of alleged pedophilia, specifically with one, Lava, which is his online name. There's also accusations specifically made by Weddle, who is another former MrBeast employee who has appeared in several videos, of another MrBeast former employee who was a sexual predator and like a registered sex offender. I'm not going to go into too many details because you've heard them all 100,000 times before. Okay, you've heard all the details before, but I find it interesting that they say like these are without basis. Maybe the employees engaging with the minors as of their time being in this official company, as of this company like really being this big thing. MrBeast's LLC, this MrBeast company thing, this has only been within the past few years. This is only like the only time I don't know when the exact date he officially founded this company, but he was like, it was just YouTube for so long before it became a company. So while none of his employees conducted any sexual misconduct while they were officially employees of a company, of a legal LLC, the fact of the matter is we have evidence that they were beforehand. I think in the legal eyes of the law, there is, in the legal eyes of the law, there is nothing wrong. I think what the public investigators have concluded, that there's been no sexual misconduct, that there's been no workplace harassment, I think that's all true. I do believe no laws have been broken. But the unfortunate truth is that as of right now, there is no law, there's no way to get arrested for making inappropriate jokes with a minor publicly on Twitter and then claiming them as just edgy humor. Ava Chris Tyson's defense this entire time has been edgy humor that she realizes now is inappropriate. Even if she realizes now that that kind of humor is inappropriate, that doesn't change the fact that it's always been inappropriate. I don't think... Okay. Even though MrBeast doing nothing illegal in the eyes of the law, that doesn't change the fact that he's still done bad stuff. He's still let stuff like this happen by people he is associated with. And while he has an audience of primarily children, it doesn't change the fact that at his core, he's still very much a greedy business person. I think this reply right here sums it up really well. Based electrician. We found ourselves. We investigated ourselves and found ourselves innocent. That is the general thing here. That's another point I wanted to touch on. There's no proof. Where's the proof? Where are the interviews? Who did you interview? If they said they wanted to be anonymous, just post the interview and don't reveal who it was. Just say anonymous. Like we're like it's like a question thing. Did you have an interaction with Ava Chris Tyson? Anonymous. No, I did not. Or yes, I did have an interaction with Ava Chris Tyson. Uh, were you groomed as a minor by Ava Chris Tyson? Anonymous. Yes, I was, or no, I was not groomed by Ava Chris Tyson. Do you think you could have been? It could have been anonymous. And if they like, there's no real reason that Jimmy Beast has for not posting these interviews. Okay, this is a picture it didn't happen situation. He is saying all this stuff. He's saying that they investigated themselves and they found themselves innocent. Where's the proof? Jimmy, you're never going to be innocent until you prove you're innocent. I have one more thing that I want to cover. The company has already implemented or is in the process of implementing changes to ensure a safe and professional corporate culture today and moving forward. These include hiring a new chief executive officer, among other things. To my understanding, Jimmy Beast is the current chief executive officer, the CEO of the company. So, what this is saying is Beast is no longer going to run the legal side of things. This is big for two reasons. One, this means that Beast is no longer in charge of MrBeast. He is just going to be the face of the channel now, okay? This is like when MatPat sold off the Theorist channels to a company. MatPat doesn't own the Theorist channels at that point. He is just the face of them. And now he's not even associated with them. But like he sold off his channels. He was just the face now. The same happened with Smosh. Smosh sold off their channel. Now they're just the face. They're not making the decisions. With MrBeast no longer being the CEO of MrBeast, while he's not stepping down, he's not selling his company. He's just the face now. And what that means, if MrBeast does anything scummy, if any DMs get dropped, if any more Discord channels get leaked, if there's any evidence that MrBeast or the people that he allowed to be near him come out as doing anything weird, the company can no longer take the fall for it. Because MrBeast is not the head of it. MrBeast might get fired as the face of the company. Bring in Mac. He's the new face of the company. All right, Carl, you're the new MrBeast. Because MrBeast can no longer be the face of the company, and they don't need him anymore. They can cast him aside if they want. They're just going to keep him because he's currently making the money. And MrBeast knows this, and he's letting it happen. He's letting it happen because he's still going to get money in the side. He's still going to be making the money in the side, even if he's no longer CEO. The man has enough money now. He can get cast aside. He doesn't need to. Like, he can retire at this point. MrBeast, you've done so much good for the world. But that doesn't change the fact that you're also doing objectively evil things, financially and morally. There's not much else that can be covered in this video. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.